How's everyone doing? It's Jason Sidney Blackwater, and it's The Outlook. And I just wanted to touch on something that's been kind of, on my mind recently. And that is time and earning money in time. When someone hires you to do a job in any field that you're in, you gotta ask yourself, how much does it pay? We all ask that. If you're self-employed, you ask the person, hey, or you tell them, this is how much I'm gonna charge for this, right? Or if you're going into like a 9-to-5 job, you might say, what's the rate? What's the pay? So we always know how much the job pays, but we don't ask, how much does it cost? And I'm not talking financially. I'm talking time-wise, future-wise, longevity, energy, everything. How much does this cost? That hidden factor right there is what I think keeps a lot of people in that mental enslavement. I'm just being real, right? You hear a lot of people say, you can make a lot of money doing this, and you can make a lot of money doing that. And most of those jobs sound like some high prestigious situation. Oh man, I wish I could, but at the end of the day, how much does it cost? And now check this out, right? There can be a brain surgeon. You could drive past Beverly Hills right now. Ring the doorbell. Hey, sir, what do you do for a living? You have a nice house. I see you have a really nice house. What do you do for a living? I'm a brain surgeon. I make $180,000 a year. You might think, damn, brain surgeon is where it's at. But what most people won't ask that brain surgeon, how much does that job cost you? How many recitals did you miss from your kids or your daughter, whatever, right? How many nights did you come home late and your wife was too tired to give you that energy that you wanted? Or how many days did you really wish for a vacation, but you had to lie to yourself and say, man, it's part of the grind, it's part of the job. No, always ask yourself, how much does something cost you, not just the pay? And that right there, I think, is the main question we should all ask, and that's how they keep people in that same cycle. Me personally, I'm in a transitional period in my life right now, right? My lady's 7 months pregnant, got a daughter on the way, and it just really makes you that much sharper. I've always thought of myself as like a, genuinely, sharp kind of guy. I take my time, I make calculated decisions. But one thing that I think was a big flaw was I was always looking for, okay, I need to make this money quick, and as long as I'm doing something that I love to do, then it justifies it. That was kind of like cap. That was like a little bit cap right there. Think about it. What do I love to do? I'm a storyteller. Me filming and using my camera to tell a story is awesome, but me using the camera, it's a means to an end. It's the tool, it's not the result. So for example, if you love fixing cars, you enjoy using your tools and everything, but the minute someone asks you to use those tools to do something else that's not your passion, you'll lie to yourself and say, well, I still love to do this, but do you really? Because just because you're using your tool doesn't mean that you're enjoying this other job that's not what you originally intended to use the tool for. What am I saying? Sometimes, using the camera for things that are not fulfilling becomes a labor job, and just keeping it all the way real. I can't stand there for hours just filming something just for the sake of filming it. If you called me to sit on the beach and film an air show, I would lose my mind. Like, these planes just flying over you doing cool tricks, it'd be cool for like 30 minutes, but if you're just there all day holding the camera, filming it, and you paid me decent for that, I would go home like, I made a come up today, but what did that just cost me? It cost me something that's valuable. That's my time and my happiness, because I wasn't happy doing it, and it took a lot of time that I could have spent with the right people. And that's another thing. You gotta always keep yourself around the right people in any field that you're in. I'm a filmmaker, but I'm not just talking to other filmmakers. I'm talking to anyone in general, especially if you're self-employed. But those who do a 9 to 5, it applies to you too as well. All these hours of your life going to something. What is it costing you? You got to be around the right people. And when you're around the right people, everything you do, it's like an investment. You get what I'm saying? Every time you spend money on this investment, it grows the investment. That's what your time should be doing for yourself. Every time you do a job, I want you to ask yourself, is this the right person I want to be working with, and why? Because if they're the right person that you're working with and they're going to be conducive to you growing and you enjoy what you're doing, do that. And if you're in a quick, like tight bind and you need some quick cash, do whatever you got to do. I'm not saying drop it just because you don't enjoy doing it, but I just want you to know that every time you do that, it's costing you something, time that you won't get back. And I learned that the hard way. Trust me, there have been jobs where I had to hold the camera and just, man, I'll tell you a quick little story. I remember when I first moved out to LA, there was this film project that paid me $200 per day to just be a camera op. I wasn't directing, I wasn't the DP, I didn't light it or anything. I just had to be a camera op for 3 days, $200 a day. Now, when you have nothing on your resume, that's awesome. Do it. Do what you got to do. If you're starting out, by the way, you can't come in there, arrogant or anything like that. So do what you got to do. Me personally, I produce my own content. I didn't have to do that. I tried to force myself to think, it's part of the grind. You're networking. It was one of the worst experiences I just remember. And not because anyone was extra horrible to work with or it was a bad job or anything. It really wasn't. It was just extremely annoying as hell. Being a camera op when I have no kind of fulfillment in the project, being a camera op where I'm not directing, I'm not telling the story, I'm just helping someone tell their story that I'm not interested in, that became a labor job. Just like that. Hey, Jason, hold the camera this angle. Okay, hold that angle. And I used to hate when they say we're going handheld, because then I had to hold that thing on my shoulder for a long period of time, and I couldn't break when I wanted to break. I had to break when the director wanted me to break. That's when I realized the hell with always trying to be a team player. Sometimes you got to be selfish in this game. The point I'm making is anything you do, it's not just about the pay. It's about it paying you and having a low cost of you and your happiness, a low cost of your happiness, a low cost of your energy, low cost on your body, because that's another thing. A lot of these jobs out here, they wear your body down and they're not paying you enough for what they're asking you to do. Always ask yourself, what does this cost me? Even take it out of business, right? You might have, this is for the young people out there, right? You could be 18 years old, just got yourself a vehicle. Your friends don't have a car. And at that age, everyone's coming to you. Hey, man, take me over here. I'll give you some gas. Take us over here. They'll have you going to movies that you don't even want to see just because you have the ride. They'll have you going to parties that you don't want to go to just because you have the ride. They'll have you doing a lot of things. In your head, you want to be a good friend, but what does that cost you? Cost you your happiness, cost you your energy. It probably even costs you relationships sometimes because, friends could be really draining. And if you meet a girl that you like or something like that, or for women, if you meet a guy that you like and your friends just try to get in the way of that stuff, they always want your energy and they try to discourage you from doing other things, it costs you a lot. So actually this starts off in business, but it goes to anything. Always ask yourself, what does this cost me? And with that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, but, I'm just in that zone right now. It's Jason Sydney Blackwater. It's The Outlook. You can stream all the short films on RedSydneyStreaming.com. Please like and subscribe, drop a comment. Appreciate everyone. I'm only trying to just drop any jewels that I can, because I wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for me soaking in other jewels. So it is what it is. What does it cost you?